Alright, we are back. Yes, we are back with Jurassic World Evolution 3. The Rebirth DLC just dropped earlier today. So I decided, instead of doing what everyone else is doing, with, showcasing the skins, new dinosaurs, whatnot, I thought I would get straight in with the new open-top Aviaries. So as you can tell by the title, we're starting with an open-top Desert Canyon Pterosaur exhibit, before anyone else has ever done one. So naturally we start with the shape of the enclosure. What you want to do is you want to do a more natural shape, so it doesn't look man-made. You want it to look as natural as possible. So I got this weird, I don't even know how you describe it, but you can see the shape there. And after getting the shape, the first thing I did was place down the hatchery and marked out where I wanted the viewing domes to be. I do later remove these so I can make one and then copy it over to the different spots. When you do place stuff on the side, it will change the level of the ground, even if you've already lowered it. What I did is I put the ground down as far as I could go, but I had to keep going back and redoing that, because placing things down on the aviary resets or brings up the minimum level a bit. Once I finished that, I started designing the hatchery and the viewing domes, and it's as simple as just covering up any concrete that you see with as much rock as you can, while making it, still look good so the dinosaurs don't, walk through rocks to get out, if that makes sense. Here I just start encasing the doorway with as much flat and also natural looking rocks as I can. You can see there I forgot to turn the music off. As I said before, you don't want to block the doorway itself, you just want to cover up all that ugly looking concrete with as much rock as you can, so the dinosaurs aren't phasing through anything to get out of the hatchery. Next, we'll literally do the exact same thing except with the viewing domes. The good thing with this is that you can make one and then repeat it for the rest of them, which is exactly what I did. I literally just cover up as much concrete as I can, while keeping the viewing dome looking good. I tried to avoid getting any of the rock texture through on the inside, which I think I managed to do pretty well. It didn't really matter to me how it looks on the outside, just as long as it looks good on the inside, so I didn't bother with anything like that. You can obviously make your own designs if you want. You can see I copied it, but I did have to change one of the side rocks so it looked good there. Once we've done that, I put in the shape of the river. I try to make it as thin as possible so it keeps with the same desert theme I've been going with throughout the entire park. I do realise I don't have any space for the feeders, so I do make some little kind of thicker sections. I just kind of play around with it until I get something that I like. Once I finish the river, I start building the different nest areas. I got the idea of kind of like raised cliffside nest areas. I got the idea from two places. The first one was a YouTube short I saw a while ago from Evolution Square. I'll try and remember to link that in the description. Another place, it kind of reminded us of the Wyvern Trench from Ark Survival Evolved, if anyone's ever played that. I'm sure you know what I mean. can see here that I actually turn the collision off for a lot of the rocks around the nests. I do this because, well, for some reason I didn't make the nests as all kind of one piece. Kind of put them, all the rocks separate to the nests themselves. So I wasn't sure if having collision on would stop them from working. So what I did is for the big rocks around them, I turned the collision off, then I just put some smaller rocks inside those rocks with collision on, just to stop them like actually clipping into the rocks. So now we're just going in with the final details for the nest, just adding in the decoration pieces like the foliage and a few bones as well. This is just to break up all the rock texture, make it look more natural, make it look nicer. Also add in some lights, you'll see in a second. And if there's one thing you can learn from this game, it's that there's nothing wrong with a little bush. So now that we've finished the nest, it's finally time for the canyon walls. The process here is literally just to put as many big rocks in as you can to just cover up those concrete walls of the aviaries. I tried to make it as tall as I can without making it too tall, so it looked all good and natural. I think I did a pretty good job overall. I think I did miss a couple of the little hologram bits on the tops of the walls, but it doesn't really matter all that much. I'm getting towards the end here, so what I did next was I decided to add some of the new perch points around the place. I mainly put them in fallen trees across the canyon because I think that's what looked best. Unfortunately, all of the perch points are kind of like basically just a wooden board. Most of them are actually too thick to fit neatly into the tree, so some of them do poke out a bit, as you'll see. But, I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it, because unfortunately you can't shrink them, and you also can't rotate them apart from on one axis. I did what I could to the best of my ability, and I think it looks pretty good considering. And with that done, now all we need to do is add the finishing touches. All I did is I went around with the terrain tool and put in what I thought looked best for the area. I think it ended up looking pretty good. And yeah, that's about it. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, leave a comment. All that good stuff. See you later.